welcome to day 26 of my 6th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 26 already, but that does not mean that it is too late to join the challenge. It is never too late to join the challenge. Of course, you do not have to join the challenge. If you just want to do this workout with me today, that's great. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you are curious about the challenge, let me just tell you that there is a playlist for this challenge that contains all of the workouts in chronological order. I will link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of this video as well so that you can't miss it. So click on the link, save the playlist, and then just begin by watching that day 1 video. Even if you're on the fence and you're not sure that you want to do the challenge, you don't really know what the challenge is, or you think you can't do the challenge, save the playlist and then watch the day 1 video. That day 1 video is going to explain everything you need to know about the challenge, what it is exactly, what we're hoping to accomplish with it, why we're doing it, how to participate, where to begin. You're also going to see the proper form demonstrated and explained for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, along with tons of beginner modifications. So watch that day 1 video, and of course if you have any questions about the challenge, about how it works, or how you can participate, I am right here to help, so please just ask. But after you've watched the day 1 video and you understand what the challenge is, how it works, why we're doing it, and you've decided that you want to participate, you can jump in today and start on day 26. That is fine by me. You can just do the last 15 days of the challenge with me. Why not? Once you make the commitment to do the challenge, it becomes your challenge. So you do it in a way that works for you. So if you don't want to go all the way back to the beginning and start on day 1, you can jump in today. That's absolutely fine. But if you do want to start the challenge on day 1, just make sure that you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist, and everything will fall into place. I've made it super easy to follow along. Now, like I said, this is my 6th year in a row doing this challenge, and this year I am making a concerted effort to ensure that the challenge is accessible to ultra beginners. So if you are a beginner, if you've never done a workout before in your entire life and you don't think you can do a squat or a push-up, yes you can. You're in the right place, okay? If you are not a beginner, then the workouts that we're doing this year might not challenge you very much, so you may want to follow along with last year's playlist. Last year was my 5th year in a row doing the challenge, and it was the same challenge. We were doing at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days, but the workouts we were doing last year were much more advanced. They were generally a lot longer because we were often doing more than just those 160 reps. We were also doing more advanced versions, more challenging variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups in a lot of the workouts. We were adding weight to a lot of the workouts as well, and most of the time I was incorporating about 20 or 30 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio right into the workout. So last year's workouts were longer and just more intense, more challenging, more advanced. So if that sounds like something that is more your speed, I am going to recommend that you save last year's playlist, and I will also link that playlist up here in the iCard as well as down in the description box below the video, and it will be linked again at the very end of this video. I'm also going to recommend, if you're more advanced, that you save this year's playlist. Save both playlists, because the workouts we're doing this year, even though they're much shorter and simpler, they are a great option to have. If you're in really good shape, you are likely going to be able to complete almost all of the workouts that we're doing this year for the challenge in under 10 minutes. So on those days where you just have no time and you just want to bust out a quick 160 reps, these workouts are going to be perfect for you. 10 minutes, you can be done for the day. Also this year, because I'm focusing on beginners, I'm doing my best to not use any equipment. So we're focusing on body weight exercises mostly this year. So again, if you want to take your workout to the park or the hiking trail or the beach today or something like that, and you don't want to be lugging around dumbbells or a sandbag or a kettlebell or something like that, then these workouts are perfect. Or if you're traveling or you're staying in a hotel room or an Airbnb and you don't have access to equipment, these workouts are perfect. Short little body weight workouts that you can do anywhere in 10 minutes. These all workouts that we're doing this year also can make a great warm-up for something longer or more intense. So if you're getting ready to go on a tough hike or a long run or a bike ride or something, the workouts we're doing this year, a lot of them will make a great warm-up for something like that. So definitely save both playlists if you are more advanced so that you have options. And then you can just kind of bounce back and forth between the playlists. I'm sharing a new workout with you every day, and the playlists are ordered chronologically. So there's a day 1 workout and it's labeled day 1, and day 2, day 3, day 4. That's the way I'm doing the challenge, and that's the way I'm sharing it with you. And if that works for you and that's the way you want to do the challenge, great. That's the way it's designed. But again, if you're doing it, it's your challenge. So do it in a way that works for you. You don't necessarily have to go in chronological order. And again, you don't have to stick with one playlist or the other. You can bounce back and forth. As long as you are getting your 160 reps done every day, it doesn't matter how you get them done. So it doesn't matter which one of these workouts you do. It doesn't even matter if it's one of these workouts. It could be any workout that just so happens to contain at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups. So you can make up your own workout if you want, and if you don't want to do a structured workout, you don't have to. You can just spread out your reps randomly throughout the day. So for example, you could get up in the morning and do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, 10 push-ups. Any variations of those 4 exercises that you want to do is fine. And then you can just repeat that 3 more times throughout the course of the day. So you could do it again after lunch, you could do it again after you get home from work, and then once more before bed, and there's your 160 reps. So any way you want to get the reps done, any variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups you want to do, incorporate them into a workout, don't incorporate them into a workout, do them all at once, spread them out throughout the course of your day, it doesn't matter, okay? And if you cannot commit to doing 160 reps, that doesn't mean you can't do the challenge. I have a few people who are doing the challenge, but they're just doing fewer reps. Okay, so this challenge is really super easy to customize to suit your current fitness level, to suit your time constraints. So just do it in a way that works for you. If you can only manage to do 20 reps of everything every day, great, do 20 reps. If you can only manage to work out 3 days a week with me instead of 6, great. Work out 3 days. If you can only manage to do the challenge for 20 days instead of 40, then do it for 20 days or 15 days or 10 days. It's always better to do something than nothing. But the first and most important step, well, first of all, save the playlist, watch the video for day 1. But then when you're deciding whether or not you want to do the challenge, the first and most important step and the most difficult part of this whole thing is just making that commitment. So it's not seeing obstacles and saying, well, I can't do push-ups, so I guess I can't do this challenge. Yes, you can do push-ups. I promise you can do push-ups. There is always a solution. So once you have watched that day 1 video and I have convinced you that you can do these exercises and you can do this challenge, then it's up to you to decide, yes, I can do this challenge. I am going to do this challenge, and here's how I'm going to do it. So you may need to do beginner modifications. You may need to do fewer reps. You may need to commit to doing fewer days. Whatever's going to work for you. But if you are only capable of participating to a lesser degree than what I'm doing, who cares? Okay? Do what you can. But once you've made the commitment that you want to do the challenge, I promise that's the hardest part. Yes, it's difficult to find the motivation and get dressed and come out here. And yes, it's difficult actually doing the reps. We're working hard with this challenge. But I promise you that once you make that commitment, it is all downhill. Following through is the easy part. So it starts with saying, Not, maybe I'll do it. I'll think about joining a challenge. Maybe I'll start tomorrow. I'll try to find the time. It's about saying, I am going to do this challenge. I can do this challenge. Here's how I can do it in a way that works for me, and I'm going to do it. So get rid of the maybes, get rid of the I'll try, okay? Just make the commitment. Once you do that, I promise, you will follow through. The rest is so much easier than that one first big hurdle, that one first step of just making the commitment. And once you've made the commitment and you're ready to follow through, then you're gonna decide where you're gonna start. If you're gonna jump in and start today, great. Or if you're gonna go back and start on day one, just remember to start with your day one workout on a Wednesday. But regardless of how you're doing the challenge, please remember that I am here every single day. I am not just doing the challenge with you. I'm not just here working out with you every single day. I am here to answer questions. I am here to provide guidance and support and encouragement. I'm here to help motivate you. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. But that's how the challenge works in a nutshell. So save the playlist, watch the day one video, reach out if you have questions, and then commit. Decide to what degree you are able to participate, make the commitment to participate, and then go ahead and get started in any way you want and in any way that works for you. And remember that I am here to help. So please, if you have questions or if you need help, just ask. So now let's go ahead and get into what we're doing today. Today I am going to be adding weight to the workout, but you can see I have a dumbbell here. I also have some household items. So if you happen to have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, great. You can use it today if you want. I will be providing equipment-free substitutions. So if you don't have anything that's going to work for weight or you just don't feel comfortable adding weight to your workout, that's fine. You can still do this workout right along with me. However, I do encourage you, especially if you've been doing the challenge for the first 25 days, I do encourage you at some point to start incorporating some sort of weight into some of these workouts, okay? I really want to introduce that concept and I want you to start getting used to the idea of adding weight. If you want to really progress and really see yourself getting stronger, then adding weight is strongly recommended because it's adding resistance and it's going to really help you build strength. It's not necessary. You can always do a body weight workout, and body weight workouts are great. You can get in great shape and you can get very strong just doing calisthenics. Don't get me wrong. But I think that adding weight is something that it's really good to be comfortable with, and I think it's really going to help you to keep your workouts varied, and I think it's going to help challenge you more and help you grow and get stronger. So if you do have a dumbbell, you can use it today if you want. If you don't want to add weight, you don't have to add weight. But if you do want to add weight, but you don't have a dumbbell, you can grab a water bottle. This is a water bottle filled with uncooked rice. Weighs like, I don't know, 2 pounds, okay? Very, very light. So if you have a water bottle like this, you could fill it with water, you could fill it with uncooked rice like I did, or dried beans, or kitty litter, or powdered laundry detergent, something like that, okay? Just something to give it a little bit of weight. So that's one option. Another option is shampoo bottles. So I have some shampoo and conditioner here. Yes, these are still full because these are from the guest bathroom and they just really don't get used very much. So this is the same shampoo and conditioner bottles. Hi, Rudy. That I've been using for the whole challenge every time we add weight. So I was wondering today if you guys were gonna start thinking like, does she ever wash her hair ever? Or if these like have nothing in them and they weigh like a ½ pound. So these probably weigh, I don't know, a pound or so a piece. So you can hold 2 like this, a couple pounds, or you can just hold on to 1. All right, but shampoo bottles, water bottles, things like that. So you can look for household items. That's what I'm going to be doing because even though I have dumbbells, I want to show you that these workouts are always accessible, even if you have no equipment whatsoever. So I'm going to be using household items. Plus these are super light. So this is a great way to start introducing that concept of adding weight to your workouts and getting you comfortable with it because you'll definitely be able to lift a shampoo bottle and a water bottle very easily. So yeah, definitely consider adding weight, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So we'll get to that in a second. First, let's go over our squats. We're going in order again today. When I say we're going in order, I just mean that the circuit, with our circuit, we're spelling out the word slap. So that means we're starting with squats, then we're doing lunges, then abs, then push-ups. That's our circuit. So circuit training today. So starting with squats, S is for squats. So your proper form for an air squat, remember the first thing you're going to do is tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. That means your shoulders are back and down. So it's going to feel like you're kind of pinching your shoulder blades together behind you. And then you want to just kind of make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears. So not up here. If your shoulders are up here, push them down, push them back. Okay? That's going to help keep your chest lifted nice and high. So really think about lifting your chest up and make sure you keep your chest lifted high the entire time. Also, make sure that you have your abs engaged the entire time. So really tighten up your abs. Imagine someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach and you are bracing for that impact. That's how tight your abs should be. And now the next thing you're going to do, before you think about squatting, I want you to first think about hinging at the hips. And the reason for that is that your shoulders are back and down. Your chest is lifted nice and high. Your abs are super tight. So far, we're looking great. But then from here, if you just think about squatting straight down, what's going to tend to happen is that your knees are going to end up out over your toes, and that is really not the movement. It's also really easy to hurt your knees that way. Even just demonstrating that much, my knees don't like it. So instead, what I want you to do is think about hinging at the hips, as though you are trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. So when I do that, look what happens. Instead of thinking about squatting straight down where my knees are over my toes, if instead I think about hinging at the hips and pushing my booty back, do you see how now my weight is over my heels? I can actually pick up my toes, okay? And remember that you're keeping your chest lifted nice and high. So at no point do you want to allow your back to round like this. Remember, your shoulder blades are back and down and your chest is lifted nice and high. So that at the same time that I'm thinking about trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, I'm also thinking about trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest so that my spine is nice and elongated. The point is that you want to keep, here's your bullet points for your squat, okay? Flat back, weight in the heels. So you want to keep your back flat, you want to make sure your weight is always in your heels. And then from there you can go ahead and sink down into your squat. So sink as low into the squat as you can without pushing your body into doing something it is not ready to do. It's really important that you are working to your own level. So if you are able to at least get your thighs parallel to the ground, that's great. That's what you're shooting for. But you might not be there yet. That's fine. Your goal is to someday, maybe not today, maybe not next week, maybe not even by the end of the challenge, maybe not until summer, or maybe not until next year, okay? So it's not something you have to do today, but your goal is to eventually see if you can get your thighs at least parallel to the ground. But your objective is to keep your back flat and to keep your weight in your heels. So that is far more important, okay? So sink as deep into the squat as you can with a flat back and the weight in your heels, and without pushing your body into doing something it's not ready to do. And then once you've gotten as low as you're going to get, you're going to press your heels into the ground to stand. And I mean really press, actively press your heels into the ground, as though you are trying to push the ground away from you. That's going to just help you activate all of the muscles in your feet, through your legs, especially your quads, your glutes, and of course your core is already nice and strong and tight and engaged. All right, so that's just a basic air squat. So let's put it all together. Tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets. So your shoulders are back and down. Chest is lifted high, abs are tight. You're gonna push your booty back At the same time, you are trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. You're keeping that chest lifted high as though you're trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. And then with your back flat and the weight in your heels, you're going to sink down into your squat. Then you're going to press your heels into the ground, push the ground away from you to stand. Shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight. Push the booty back, keep the back flat, keep the weight in your heels as you sink into the squat. Press the ground away with your heels to stand. All right, so that's just a basic air squat. And if you want to stay there, you can stay there. Remember, that's the other really great thing about this challenge, and another reason why it's so easy to customize is that any squat variation you want to do is fine. So if you can't do the squat variation I'm doing today, or if you just don't like it, you can substitute with any other squat variation that does work for you. And that's true for all 40 of these workouts. You do whatever squat variation you want. So on any given day, if you can't do a particular exercise that I'm doing, or you just don't like it, it doesn't work for you, just swap it out with any other variation of that exercise you want. As long as you do 40 squats, doesn't matter what squat variation you do. So if you want to just stick with air squats, that is absolutely fine. I am going to be adding an oblique twist. So after I squat, I'm going to shift my weight to one foot. I'm going to pick up the other foot and I'm going to bring the knee up. I'm going to bend my knee and bring it up, and at the same time I'm going to twisting my body thoracically, bringing the opposite knee, bringing the opposite elbow towards this knee, okay? So if you want to do that without any added weight, you can absolutely do that. When I do the exercise that way, I usually just start with my hands clasped behind my head like this, and I have my hands behind my head as I do my squat, and then as I stand, I'm going to shift my weight to one foot, pick up the other foot, bend the knee, twist my body thoracically, and bring the opposite elbow to meet that knee. Then put the foot down, return to my starting position. Alternating sides for the knee crunch with each rep. So keeping my hands clasped behind my head the entire time. I'm going to do another rep, squat, and now shift my weight to the other foot, lift the opposite leg, bend the knee, twist my body thoracically, and bring the opposite elbow to meet the knee. Squat and crunch. Squat and crunch. So that's your equipment-free modification. I'm going to be holding on to weight while I do that. So you can either hold on to 2 light dumbbells or 2 water bottles or shampoo bottles like this and do the exercise like this. I'm going to start with the weight up overhead, and from there it's the same exercise. I'm going to squat, shift my weight to one foot, bring elbow to knee as I twist my body thoracically, okay? Or you can just hold on to one weight. You can hold on to your dumbbell or your water bottle or your shampoo bottle like this, starting with the weight overhead, squat, oblique twist, other side. Okay, so there is that's the squat variation I'm doing today, along with your equipment-free substitution. If you are a beginner, then you can eliminate the added weight, obviously. You can also eliminate the oblique knee crunch if you want. If you want to just work on your squats, then you can hold on to something for support if you need to. Just make sure that whatever you're holding on to for support is strong enough to support your body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy, meaning that it's good quality, it's well made, and it's in good condition. Make sure that it's nothing that's going to collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it. So don't use a folding chair or anything like that. And make sure that it's stable. So by stable, what I mean is that when you put weight on it, it will not slide from underneath you. So when I'm working out in my living room, for example, I have wood floors in my living room. And if I use one of my dining room chairs, which is also wood, it's really easy for the chair to slide along the floor. So if I'm using one of my dining room chairs for support, when I'm working out in my living room, when I put weight on the chair, it's liable to slide from underneath me, and that could cause me to fall. So what I do, and what I recommend you do, is if you're using a chair or a stool or something like that, to place your chair on top of a yoga mat or an exercise mat so that it stays put. Let me grab a chair from my garage so I can show you what I'm talking about real quick. So this is precisely the type of chair that I just warned you not to use, but this is just so you can see what I'm talking about. So please do not use a flimsy plastic folding chair. Make sure your chair is strong enough to support you, sturdy enough that it can't fold up or collapse or break when you put weight on it, and stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you when you put weight on it. So I do at least have my flimsy plastic folding chair on a mat so it can't slide from underneath me. But if you need to hold on to a chair for support or any other elevated surface, so you could use, again, like a bar stool or the arm of your couch, your dining room table, your kitchen counter. Any number of elevated surfaces will work. If you want to take your workout to the park, you can use a park bench. If you happen to have a plyo box, that's great, that would be perfect. But as long as your elevated surface is strong, sturdy, and stable enough to be used safely, then you can use basically anything. But you can just hold on to the chair in front of you to support you if you need a little bit of support for your squats, or if you don't quite have the strength in your quads to stand up unassisted and you need to leverage your weight just a little bit, use your upper body to help you stand a little bit, that's fine. Challenge yourself to make your quads do as much of the work as possible. Challenge yourself to use your upper body as little as you can, but if you need the assistance, then absolutely, whatever you need to do to get the squat done. So you can just hold on to a chair, whether you just need it for balance, you just need to place your hands on the chair to kind of steady you, or whether you need to kind of leverage your weight a little bit and lean into the chair and use your upper body to assist you just a little bit, okay? Do what works for you. And then from here, if you want to add the little knee crunch, you can. You can pick up, it's a little, if you need to hold onto the chair for the knee crunch, instead of twisting, you can just hold on to the chair with one hand, lift one leg and bring the elbow on the same side down to meet the knee. That could work if you want to add the knee tuck, you don't have to. So you could do your squat and then let go with one hand, shift your weight towards the opposite foot, lift your leg, and bring the elbow down towards the knee on the same side. Okay, you could absolutely do that if you want, or you can eliminate it. If even that is too difficult, remember that you can always squat into the chair. So you've got your strong, sturdy chair placed on a mat so it can't slide from underneath you. You can stand in front of the chair and squat into the chair. Use the chair to assist you this way. Just make sure that the movement's under control. You're not just allowing gravity to just take over and plop into the chair. You want to make sure that you are doing a squat. So shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are tight. You're going to push your booty back. You're going to keep your back flat and the weight in your heels, and you're going to control the movement. You don't have to go this slowly. I'm just showing you that this is not gravity lowering me into the chair. This is me using my quad muscles to lower myself into the chair with control. Then once your booty hits the chair, of course, you can sit into the chair, and as soon as you're ready, you're going to press the ground away with your heels, activating all the muscles in your feet, your legs, your quads, especially your glutes and your core to stand. Okay, so if you are at this level, I'm going to recommend that you just stay here and work on your air squats. If you feel that you are capable, you can try to add some sort of knee crunch, either twisting your body thoracically, or maybe you could hold onto a wall for support and combine your ab. That can be your ab exercise. You can combine it with the squats, okay? Whatever's gonna work for you. But honestly, if you are at this level, then I'm gonna say just work on your squats. Work on building up enough strength so that eventually you can do an unassisted air squat. And then I feel like once you can do the squat unassisted, you can start thinking about adding things to it. Also, if you need further assistance, if you need help getting up, you can have another strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface in front of you. So you could be with this set up in front of the arm of your couch or your dining room table, so that if you need help to get up from the chair. If you need to leverage your weight just a little bit and use your upper body just a little bit to help you up, you can have another elevated surface in front of you. But I think everyone can manage some form of assisted air squat. So do the air squat assisted if you need to, and then if you're capable of it, you can add a little knee crunch like I'm doing. If not, just eliminate it. So moving on to lunges, we are doing a reverse lunge with a knee up and another little oblique twist. We're doing a lot of twisting today. So for my reverse lunge, I'm going to start standing in kind of a neutral position. What I mean when I say that is that my feet are more or less in line with my hips. So you don't want to start with your feet out wider than your shoulders, but you're also not starting with your feet together like this. So they're going to be generally about hip width apart. Just stand in a way that's comfortable for you and that kind of feels neutral. And then again, just like with our squats, we're going to start by tucking our shoulder blades into our back pockets. So your shoulders are back and down, your chest is lifted high, your abs are tight. And then from here, you're going to pick up one foot and take a step behind you. And now bend both knees and sink down into your lunge. Now, I like to tap my back knee to the ground when I lunge, but you don't have to. If you are a beginner, you can shorten up your range of motion. So you can shorten up your range of motion on the step back. So instead of taking a step back here to sink into your lunge, you can step here instead, okay? And instead of lunging all the way down so that your knee taps the ground, you can come here, okay? Work to your own level. So you can shorten up the range of motion on the step, and you can shorten up the range of motion on the lunge, okay? Just make sure, regardless, that the movement is under control, but especially if you are going to be tapping that back knee to the ground, I don't want you to bang your knee into the ground because it hurts. So make sure the movement is under control. So you're going to step behind you, bend both knees, sink down into your lunge. And also in this position, you want to pay attention to your front leg. You want this front knee at more or less a 90-degree angle, meaning that the knee of this front leg is more over the heel of your front foot, as opposed to being out over the toes like this, okay? So same as with your squats. We're starting with the shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, abs tight, and again, we're keeping the weight in the heel. So you wanna make sure your knee is not out over your toes, you want the knee over the heel. So step back, bend both knees, sink down to the lunge, and then press the ground away and straighten your legs to stand. Now you can just step this foot forward. If you are a beginner and you don't want to add anything and you just want to work on your reverse lunges, you can hold on to a strong, sturdy, stable chair or other elevated surface for support. You can even just hold on to the wall for support if you need it. You can shorten up your range of motion, take a short step back, lunge just a little bit, and then step forward, okay? If you're not a beginner and you don't need to use the wall, then you can lunge behind you and then either step the foot forward or do what I'm doing and drive that knee up, okay? So I'm going to step back, bend both knees and lunge, and then instead of stepping this foot forward and planting it on the floor next to the other one, I'm going to drive this knee up and forward, up towards my chest. And as I do that, I'm going to twist and touch my opposite elbow to the knee, or as close as I can, okay? Same kind of thoracic movement that we did with our squats, okay? We're twisting thoracically, so you're bringing opposite elbow to knee. And then from here, I'm going to stay on the same leg. So from here, I'm going to go right into my next rep. So if you can't do that, you can set the foot down and reset. This is a modification. So if you're able to do the knee up, but you need to put your foot down and reset, this is a modification, you can do this. And then right into your next rep. Reverse lunge, drive the knee up and twist, put the foot down. I'm not going to be putting my foot down. I'm going to go right from here into my next rep. So I'm going to step behind me and lunge, drive the knee up in front of me towards my chest, twist my body thoracically, bringing opposite elbow to knee. And then I'm going to twist to face front again, and as I do that, this foot's going straight behind me, knees bend, and I'm right into my next rep. Straighten the legs, push the ground away, drive this back leg forward, bring the knee up to the chest, twist, bringing opposite elbow to knee, right into my next rep. So stepping the foot back to lunge, drive the knee up and twist. Okay, so it's a little bit challenging. It's easy to lose your balance. So remember, you can always set the foot down whenever you need to kind of reset, and you can have something next to you for support if you need it. If you would like to add weight to that, again, if you have a dumbbell, when I do this workout with my dumbbell, I hold one dumbbell in front of me just like this. Today, I'm probably just going to use the water bottle and do the same thing. But again, you can hold on to a water bottle, or you can hold on to 2 water bottles or shampoo conditioner bottle, okay, whatever you've got. But you're just going to hold the weight in front of you, and then the exercise is the same. So you're going to step behind you, lunge, now drive this knee forward and twist. So it's the same exercise, you're just holding on to weight while you do it, staying on the same leg with each rep. And again, if you need to just step forward and eliminate the knee up, fine. If you need to reset in between reps, you can drive the knee up, put the foot down and reset, and then go into your next rep. Whatever you need to do, but that is my lunge variation, both with and without weight. So you have your equipment-free substitution, and I already went over your beginner modifications. So beginner modifications again, eliminate the weight, eliminate the knee up and the twist, shorten up your range of motion, hold on to something for support. Okay, so I think everybody can manage that. If not, remember that any lunge variation you want to do is fine. So if none of that's going to work for you, just substitute with any other lunge variation that you can manage. And if you need help, I'm right here to help, so please just ask. So next is abs. I'm going to be down on the mat. We're doing Russian twists today, and we've done these before, so if you've been following the challenge, you've seen these already, you know what's coming. If you cannot get down on the mat and you need a standing option for your abs, there are a few different options. So first of all, you can have your chair or your bar stool or the arm of your couch next to you for support, or you really can even just use the wall. All right, this is the same standing ab exercise I've been showing you since day 1. So what you're going to do is hold on to something for support, something strong, sturdy, and stable for support. And then you're going to take this outside leg, extend the leg to the side so that it is straight. Take your free hand. You're going to bend the elbow, place your free hand behind your head, and then you're just going to lift this leg, bend the knee, and as you do that, you're going to crunch, bringing your knee towards your elbow, or your elbow towards your knee. If you cannot actually touch your elbow to your knee, that's fine. Just come as close as you can, but that's what you're going for. Okay, that's what you have in mind. That's what you're working towards, is actually touching your knee with your elbow. You just want to feel that crunch in your obliques. Okay, so just make sure that you do an even number of reps on both sides. So we are going to be going through the circuit 4 times. Just make sure you're switching sides. You can either switch sides each time through the circuit, or you can stay on the same side for the first 2 times through the circuit, and then rounds 3 and 4, you can switch to the other side. Whatever works for you, just make sure you end up even on both sides. Okay, you can also do love bends, since we're using weight today. And I've showed you these before as well, but you can hold your weight to one side, and you're going to start by standing with your feet maybe about shoulder width apart or so. I always like to take my free hand and just place it on my hip to make sure that my hip stays still. And then you're just going to let the weight kind of gently fall down towards the ground, like it's just following the natural line of your leg. It is like some kind of force is pulling the weight down, and you're resisting that, okay? And the main thing that you want to be aware of here, this exercise is really easy to do incorrectly, but if it's done correctly, it's actually a really great exercise. The main thing is that you want to make sure that, this is part of the reason I have my hand on my hip, is to remind me and to be aware of where my hip is, because you don't want to allow, as the weight falls, you don't want to allow your hip to kind of jut out to the side. You want to keep everything from your belly button down stationary. It's like from the belly button down, I'm cast in some kind of, I don't know what, and I can't move. Okay, or like you're in like quicksand or something from the belly button down. None of this can move. So you can't go back and forth like this with your hips. They have to stay perfectly still. As long as you do that, then this exercise I think is really effective and I like it a lot. So hand on the hip, just to kind of remind you to keep your hips still. I also have the added benefit of being able to see myself in my phone while I record. So it can also be really helpful to do this exercise in front of a mirror, or to record yourself so that you can see, because a lot of times you might be kind of jutting that hip out, but you don't feel it, you don't notice it. So if you can see yourself doing it, you can correct it. But this can be a great exercise. So again, it's like something's pulling the weight down. You're just going to let the weight kind of fall down, following the natural line of your leg, and then you're going to engage your obliques and lift your torso back upright, making sure that from here down doesn't move. So again, hi Rudy. Again, just make sure that you do an even number of reps on both sides. So switch sides with the weight, either every round or halfway through, okay, after the first 2 rounds. All right, so that's another option for standing abs. And honestly, I think that all beginners can manage at least one of those. So even if you don't want to add weight, you can absolutely do this exercise. I think that's accessible to pretty much everybody. But if you do want to get down on the mat, I'm going to be doing Russian twists. Let me show you first without any added weight, so that you have your equipment-free substitution. So if you're a beginner, you can come down here and keep your heels on the mat, and then all you're going to do is just twist your body thoracically. I need a little ding, like a little counter for how many times I've said the word thoracically so far in this workout. So twist your body thoracically, ding, and you're just trying to tap the mat. Again, work to your own level. So your range of motion might be here, and that's fine. Don't push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do. But what you're going for, if you can, you want to reach all the way, twist as far as you can, and tap the mat with your fingertips. And then you're just going to twist and tap the mat on the other side. And that's it. That's Russian twists. So twist and tap, twist and tap, twist and tap, twist and tap. Now, I'm counting every 2 twists as 1 rep. So each time you twist this side of the mat, that's going to be 1 rep, okay? So if this is your starting position, you're gonna twist and tap, that's 1. Twist and tap, that's 2, 3, and 4. If that's too much for you, cut it in half. Count each twist as 1 rep, okay? So if that's gonna be too many reps, you're gonna count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, make the decision that is best for you. We're only doing sets of 10. So just make the decision that's best for you. If that's pretty easy for you, you can do what I'm going to do and lift your heels up off the mat. And you will have your heels elevated the entire time. And from there, it's the same exercise. Twist and tap, twist and tap. You can always start up here, and then if you start to fatigue, you can put the heels down, okay? I do want you to challenge yourself, but don't push it, okay? So if you want to start with your heels elevated and you can do maybe half the reps that way, but then you have to put the heels down, that's fine. But that is another option, and that is your equipment-free substitution. I am going to be doing the exact same exercise, holding on to my weight. So I'm just have one hand on either side of the weight, and I am going to lift my heels. This is my starting position. I'm going to twist and tap my weight down on the other side of the mat, and then twist and tap, return to my starting position, and that's 1 rep. Twist and tap, twist and tap. Every time I tap this side of the mat is 1 rep. So that's 2, 3, and 4. And again, you can do the same thing if you want to hold weight, but it's too difficult to have your heels elevated. You can keep your heels on the mat, twist and tap, twist and tap. And if doubling the reps is too much, you can count each tap as 1 rep. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so very simple ab exercise and lots of options. That's your equipment-free substitutions and your beginner modifications. And if you can't get down on the mat, you have a couple of standing ab exercises that you can try as well. So that's our S, our L, and our A. Now it is time for P, push-ups. So typically when I do this workout, I am using a 10-pound dumbbell, which is a good weight for me. If you are using weight, your weight may need to be lighter than this, or it may need to be heavier than this. That all depends on you. That depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It also just depends on what you have available to you and how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weight and make the decision that is best for you. Today, my weight is lighter because I want to not use fitness equipment. I want to show you that this workout is accessible even if you're an absolute beginner and you have no equipment. So I'm going to be using my water bottle today. But if you have a dumbbell and you want to use it, just make sure that it is an appropriate weight for you. Now, usually when I do this workout, my push-up variation, I'm using the dumbbell for my push-up, and I'm doing my push-up on the dumbbell. So if you want to do that, you can, as long as your dumbbells are flat on the bottom. My dumbbells are shaped like hexagons, meaning that they're flat on the bottom, so that when I am down here in a plank position with my weight on the dumbbell is not going to roll around on me. I don't want the dumbbell to be able to roll because then I might fall and get hurt. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends here, I am recommending that you do not use them for this exercise. But if you want to, this is not the push-up variation that I'm going to do today, but usually when I do this day 26 workout, this is my push-up variation. So I'm going to show it to you, and you can do it if you want. But basically, I'm just going to do a push-up with my hands on the dumbbells. And this is a very challenging push-up variation because my hands are closer together than they normally would be for a push-up. Usually when we do our push-ups, we start with our hands just about underneath our shoulders. So from there, I'm actually moving each hand in about 6 inches. So my hands are not here, but close together. And it really isolates your chest, and it's a really difficult push-up variation. So you can try it if you want. Just put one hand on either end of the dumbbell and do your push-ups like this. You can do the push-up from your toes or from your knees. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing that push-up variation today because I'm not using my dumbbell today, but you can if you want. Now, if you want to do something similar to that, you can try diamond push-ups. But diamond push-ups are even harder because I have, how much space is this? What, 6 inches, or 6 or 8 inches or something like that, right? So that's how far apart my hands are when I'm doing the push-up this way. So my hands are closer together than a normal push-up, but when I'm doing a diamond push-up, they're even closer. They're actually touching. So it increases the difficulty that much more, and it isolates your chest that much more. But they're called diamond push-ups because this is how you do them. You bring your hands together like this. So the tips of my index fingers are touching, the tips of my thumbs are touching. So that in the middle of my hands is creating kind of a diamond shape. That's why they're called diamond push-ups. And then from there, you're going to do your push-up with your hands in this position, so my push-ups are kind of right underneath my chest. So it really makes it a lot more challenging for your chest muscles. And you can do this from your knees or from your toes. I don't even know if I can do one right now. I'm in such bad shape with my push-ups. I will recommend, if you do this push-up variation, to have your feet a little bit wider apart so that your weight is more evenly distributed. It's going to be safer, you're going to feel more stable, and it's going to make the push-ups a little bit easier. So you can have your feet a little bit wider apart than they would normally be for a push-up, but from here you're just gonna bend your elbows and lower your chest as close to your hands as you can. And then push yourself back up, okay? And of course you can do the same thing from your knees. It's just a really challenging push-up variation. So if you're looking to challenge yourself today and you're really strong, you can do that. You can do diamond push-ups. Or if you have a dumbbell that's flat on the bottom, you can do your push-ups with your hands on the dumbbell, okay? So that's not what I'm doing, but that's normally what I would be doing, so those are options for you. I'm going to stick with my theme of oblique, like twisting my body thoracically. I'm not really twisting my body thoracically for the push-up, but I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to do what I call core twist push-ups, and we did these did we do them earlier this week, or probably last week we did them? Maybe late last week we did them. It's another really challenging push-up variation. So remember that if you can't do core twist push-ups, you can do any push-up variation you want, just as long as you're minding your form. So let's begin by just going over the proper form for your push-up. I think most of the people doing the challenge with me this year are beginners. I know you're not all beginners, but I'm going to demonstrate from the knees first because I think most of you are doing knee push-ups. And it's the same thing anyway. If you're doing push-ups from your toes, it's the exact same exercise, but just you don't have your knees on the mat. Okay, so you're going to start with your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Step your feet back so that you're in a plank position, and then from here just put your knees down on the mat. So your three kind of bullet points for the push-ups is number one, head in line with your spine. So you want to make sure you're not allowing your head to drop down like this. You do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and kind of jutting your chin out. You just want your head in line with your spine, so in kind of a nice neutral position, straight up and down in the middle. So it's like if you're standing with your back up against the wall and you're just gently pressing the back of your head into the wall. That's where you want your head, and that's where you want it to stay. You want your head to stay still. It's a really common mistake that people will bob their head up and down while they're doing their push-ups. So that's what we're trying to avoid. You want your head in line with your spine and you want it to stay there. So that's our first little bullet point. Our second bullet point is shoulders away from the ears. Another very common mistake is that people will kind of sink into their shoulders like this. So in order to fix that, I want you to start by spreading out all 10 fingers so that your weight is as evenly distributed as you can. And then what you're going to do is push the ground away from you. Actively try to push the ground away from you. Press your palms into the mat so that you go from here to here. Spread out the fingers, push the floor or the ground away from you so that your shoulders are away from your ears. Bullet point number 3 is flat back. So you want to make sure that you're not allowing your hips or your belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this. That is causing an arch in my back. We don't want that. We want a flat back. So the way to fix this is to really tighten up your abs and then use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. Now once you have found this position, your head is in line with your spine, your shoulders are away from your ears, your back is flat, nothing moves. You want to keep your body in one straight line from your knees to your shoulders the entire time. So you're going to bend your elbows and you're going to lower your chest as close to the mat as you can without moving anything else, without ever breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, without allowing your hips or your belly to arch down towards the mat, or allowing your back to arch without lowering your forehead down to the mat, okay? And then once you've gotten your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, you're just going to press the ground away from you and push yourself back up, return to your starting position. If you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, that's fine. So again, we're going to talk about goal versus objective. Your goal is to actually touch the mat with your chest, but not by breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Your objective is to keep that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So you may not reach your goal of touching the mat with your chest today. You may not reach it by the end of the challenge. You may not reach it until next year, but that's what you're going for. But what's far more important is that you're meeting your objective of maintaining that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So what if you can't get your chest all the way down to the mat? Then just shorten up your range of motion. So if you can only get your chest this close to the mat without lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat, or without lowering your forehead down to the mat, that's fine. Then just get your chest as close to the mat as you can. Once you're down as far as you can go, press the mat away from you, return to your starting position, okay? Push yourself back up as high as you can, shoulders away from the ears, head in line with the spine, back flat, okay? So, any knee push-up variation you want to do is fine. If you want to add a little knee tuck, add a knee tuck, anything is fine. And remember that if you elevate your hands, it will make the push-ups a bit easier. So if knee push-ups like that are too difficult for you, you can try elevating your hands on a strong, sturdy, stable surface. So remember that we are using our imaginations and we are pretending that this is a strong, sturdy chair, not a flimsy plastic folding chair, and we have it placed on our mat so that it's nice and stable. You can always elevate your hands and it will make the push-ups a little bit easier. So just hold on to the chair, and then from here it's the same exact principle. So you want to have your body in one straight line from your knees to your shoulders, and you want to make sure nothing moves. You're just going to bend your elbows and get your chest as close to the chair as you can. Then push the chair away and push yourself back up. If that is too difficult, try inching your knees closer to the chair. The closer to the chair, your knees, the easier the push-up. So you can be here if that's easier for you. Now, I will say that in that position, because I'm more upright, there's more of my own body weight on my knees. So it's more pressure on my knees, and I find that even though the push-up itself is easier, I find it to be much more uncomfortable for my knees. So you can always just double up your mat a couple of times, or what also works really well is if you have like a chair cushion. Like frequently there's chair cushions on like patio furniture, if you have something like that. I also have those little chair cushions on my dining room chairs. So if you happen to have something like that, that works great. You could also maybe use a throw pillow or one of those little kneeling pads that they sell for like gardening. They sell them at like Dollar Tree, they're super cheap. So anything to give your knees a little bit more protection, because if you have the upper body strength to do this, but the reason you can't do it is because it hurts your knees, just try, see if you can just get something to protect your knees, like a throw pillow or a chair cushion or something like that, and that might be all you need. If you can't get down on your knees, if it's just too difficult, remember you have standing push-up options as well. So again, we're pretending this is something much stronger and sturdier than a flimsy plastic folding chair. We're pretending this is either a super strong chair or maybe the arm of your couch or your kitchen counter. That's another great option, but you can stand and elevate your hands on a strong, sturdy, stable surface and do your push-ups this way, okay? Keeping your body in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders, and you can even do this with your hands on the wall. So if you need to see that, please let me know, but any push-up variation you want to do is fine. So knee push-ups are great. If you can't do knee push-ups, try them with your hands elevated on the arm of your couch or a strong, sturdy chair. And if that's too difficult or if it hurts your knees, try the same thing from a standing position with your hands either on the arm of your couch or your kitchen counter, or you can have your hands right on the wall and do wall push-ups. I am going to be doing core twist push-ups. So we did these, like I said, I think maybe last week or something. But what that means is that as I lower my chest to the mat, I'm going to pick up one foot and I'm going to tuck the knee in towards my chest and then across. my body towards the elbow on the opposite side. So from this angle, maybe you can see a little better, I'm picking up one foot, I'm tucking the knee in towards my chest and across my body. So I'm tucking this knee towards this elbow as I lower my chest towards the mat. And then as I push myself back up, I'm going to straighten the leg and place the foot back down, return to my starting position. And I'll alternate sides with each rep. So it's a pretty challenging push-up variation, but it looks like this. So I'm up here in my high plank. I'm going to pick up one foot, and as I bend my elbows and lower my chest towards the mat, I'm going to tuck this knee in and towards the opposite elbow. And then as I push myself up, I'll straighten the leg and place it back down, return to my starting position. Alternating sides with each rep. So now I'll pick up the other foot, and as I bend my elbows and lower my chest to the mat, I'm tucking the knee in towards my chest and across towards the opposite elbow, straightening the leg on the way up, okay? So we'll alternate sides with each rep. And again, I just like this push-up variation for today, even though we did it once already, just because with our squats, lunges, and abs, we're incorporating twisting. So I thought, let's stick with the twisting theme and do some sort of like twist with the push-up. So core twist push-ups it is. That's what I'm doing. Now, if you cannot do the knee tuck as you're doing the push-up, you can do it afterwards. So if you're doing push-ups from your toes, you can do just a standard push-up and then do the knee tuck. Okay, alternate sides with the knee tuck for each rep, so then you can do another push-up and then knee tuck to the other side. That's fine. You could do the same thing from your knees. If you're doing knee push-ups, do your knee push-up, then come up to a plank, high plank, do your knee tuck, knees back down for another push-up, then come back up into your high plank position and do the knee tuck on the other side. Okay, so you can add, if you can't come up into a high plank, you could also maybe do something like a side plank with a knee tuck. So you could do, for example, your push-up, and then you could rotate into a side plank by picking up one hand, bringing the hand up above you, and as you do that, take the top leg and extend it straight. And you can leave this bottom knee on the mat for support. And then from here, if you want to add a little tuck, you can bend your knee and bring the elbow down towards the knee, then rotate back into your starting position. Another push-up, and then rotate to the other side, so pick up the opposite hand, rotate into a side plank, and as you do that, you can extend your top leg out, bend the knee, and bring elbow to knee, and then back into your side plank. So that's another option, but again, any push-up variation you want to do is fine. If you want to find a way to incorporate a little bit of a twist or a knee tuck, that's great, but if not, you can just work on your push-ups. Any push-up variation you want to do is fine. So again, if you need any further help with beginner modifications, I'm right here to help, so please just ask. So that's it, that's all for exercises. Now here's the format. We are going to be spelling the word slap. So that means we are starting with squats, then we're doing lunges, then we're doing abs, then we're doing push-ups. We are going to be doing sets of 10. So we'll do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of abs, 10 push-ups. That's one round. So that means we need to complete a total of 4 rounds of the circuit to get our 40 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups done. So I'm going to be starting with my overhead weighted squat plus an oblique knee crunch. 10 reps. I will be alternating sides with each rep. Then for my lunges, I'm not going to alternate sides with each rep. Instead, what I'm going to do is stay on one leg for the first 5 reps, and then I'll switch legs and do my second 5 reps on the other leg. Then I'll move on to abs. I'm doing Russian twists, weighted and double counted. So each 2 twists is 1 rep, and I'm going to be doing 10 reps. And then I'll finish up with 10 core twist push-ups, alternating sides for each rep, and that's my circuit. So we need to complete the circuit a total of 4 times. Remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the entire workout with you, so watch me do it. Read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, if the format's not going to work for you and you need any help making adjustments, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, or if you have doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, I am right here to help, so please just ask if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications. You guys know it's super important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. I am always here to help facilitate that. So if you have questions or you need help, just ask. It's also really important that you understand how to do the exercises with the correct form before you begin the workout, and it is very important, equally as important, that you apply that knowledge. So please remember, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, to go at your own pace and mind your form. Make sure that you are not sacrificing your form for speed. If you are faster than I am, great. If you're in any kind of decent shape, you will very likely be faster than I am, and that's wonderful as long as you are not sacrificing your form to get there. If you are finding that you're just kind of racing through the exercises because you're trying to go really fast, just to say you went really fast and you got a great score, or because you're trying to beat me or you're trying to keep up with me, just make sure you're not sacrificing your form. If you're racing through and your form starts to get sloppy, you're increasing your risk of injury, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. So if you find that happening, if you find your form getting sloppy, that means you need to slow down. If you are slower than I am, great. Be slower than I am. Just make sure that if you fall behind, either because you're working at a slower pace than I am, or if you need to pause and rest, pause the video, but just make sure that you're only resuming the workout once you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina that you can continue with good form. I do want you to challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need, okay? It's really important that you not only understand how to do the exercises correctly, but that you are applying that knowledge and minding your form during the workout so that you reduce your risk of injury, and just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. So please go at your own pace, okay? Be smart. Be safe, listen to your body, always make the decision that is best for you. So make sure you're minding your form and do not sacrifice your form for speed. Hopefully I've covered everything. If you are ready to go ahead and start the workout, grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice, but you're going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. And if you're doing standing abs and standing push-ups, you won't need anything. But if you do have an exercise mat or a yoga mat, definitely go ahead and get that ready. If you need to use a chair for support, make sure that you have a strong, sturdy, stable chair or some other elevated surface that you can safely use for support, that is strong enough to support your weight, sturdy enough so that it won't collapse or break or fold up when you put weight on it, and stable enough so that it cannot slide from underneath you. Grab a dumbbell or a kettlebell if you have one. If not, you can grab a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles if you want to add weight. Remember, if you don't want to add weight, you don't have to. You have your equipment-free options, but if you want to challenge yourself by adding just a little bit of weight, that's what I'm doing today. That's what I recommend. So go ahead and grab some sort of household item that you can use for weight. As long as you have something that you can maintain a secure grip on, you're not going to drop it and hurt yourself or break something and make a mess, and as long as it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items will work for weight. So grab a water bottle or a shampoo bottle filled with water or uncooked rice or dried beans or kitty litter or something like that, and then pause the video. Go ahead and get dressed and then meet me right back here. We are going to do a quick 5-minute warm up and then we'll get our reps done together. So when you're ready, let's get started with our quick 5-minute warm up. You're going to begin by just letting your head fall towards one shoulder, and then you're going to place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. You're not pulling your ear towards your shoulder. You're just resting your hand on your head and letting gravity do the work of just gently stretching the other side of your neck. Then we're gonna switch sides, so let your head fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Don't let them creep up towards your ears. Push them down. You always want your shoulders away from your ears. Now we're gonna do some head rolls. So you're gonna start by allowing your chin to kind of drop towards your chest and then to the other shoulder and back. And with each roll, you wanna just feel your head slowly getting heavier and heavier. Increase your range of motion. Your arms are nice and loose like a rag doll. And now we're gonna do some shoulder rolls. So come back up to stand and just start rolling your shoulders forward, up, and behind you. Really exaggerate that movement. Make the circles as big as you possibly can. And now we're gonna do arm circles. So you're going to start by extending your arms out to the side, and you're gonna start by making small circles. And then gradually you're gonna start making your circles a little bit bigger. Keep making them bigger until finally you are exploring your full range of motion, making those circles as big as you possibly can. Now step your feet wide apart, bend the knees, and sweep your hands down in front of you. And as you straighten the legs to stand, you want to reach up like you're trying to touch the ceiling. And each time you bend your knees, you're expanding your range of motion, sinking a little bit deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet right where they are. We're gonna lunge, nice and easy, side to side. Now adding the arms. So you're reaching across your body with each lunge. Imagine that you are trying to throw your arm across the room. Now we're gonna step our feet together and march. So start with your knees low, and then gradually, as the interval progresses, you can start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. And now we're gonna do a nice light jog, starting with the knees low, but we're gonna do the same thing. As the interval progresses, you're gonna start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving them as high up towards your chest as you can. And now booty kicks. So it's still a nice light jog, but with each step, you're bringing your foot up behind you, trying to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. Now for this next one, you might need to hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. You're going to shift your weight into one foot, pick up the other foot and just swing the leg. Swing it in front of you and then behind you, nice and loose and relaxed. We're gonna switch sides. So now put this foot down, shift your weight, pick up the other foot, and start swinging the leg forwards and back. You can start low, and then gradually start increasing your range of motion, just loosening up those hips. Now you're going to extend the foot out in front of you, keep the toes on the ground, and draw a little semicircle. Bringing that foot around and behind you. And each time you draw your circle, you can start lifting the leg higher and higher until finally you're gonna drive the knee up in front of you and kind of guide it around with your hand. Other side, so extend the other foot out in front of you. Start with your foot low to the ground. Draw a semicircle that goes around and behind you, lifting the leg higher and higher until finally you can drive that knee up in front of you, guide it around with your hand. Now for our hamstring stretch, This is our final interval. So you can use your chair or the wall to assist you getting into this stretch. It's just going to make it more comfortable for you, and it's going to make it easier to keep your back flat while you stretch your hamstrings. You don't have to use the wall or a chair if you don't want to, but it just makes it more comfortable getting into the stretch, and it makes it easier to keep your back flat. There's nothing wrong with rounding your back, but if you flatten your back, it's really going to help you isolate your hamstrings. And using the wall or a chair just makes that, I think, a little bit more accessible. But if you flatten your back, you're really going to feel that stretch intensify in your hamstrings. But that's it. That's our warm up. So let's go ahead and get started on the workout. All right, so as soon as you're ready, here we go. We are starting with squats. So get your weight ready. If you are adding weight, I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So you're starting with your weight up overhead. Now you're gonna squat, lift the knee, and twist, bringing your elbow to meet the knee on the opposite side. Alternating sides with each rep. So that's 4, 5, we're going to 10, do your best. Right into reverse lunges, so hold your weight in front of you, step the foot back and lunge, now drive the knee up and twist, right into your next rep. So lunge and twist, that's 3, 4, and 5. Now switch sides. So stepping back with the opposite foot, step back and lunge, now drive the knee forward and twist, right into the next rep, lunge and twist. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Abs. Russian twists. With or without weight. Heels on the mat to make it a little easier. Heels elevated to make it a little bit more challenging. Twist and tap, twist and tap. That's 1, 2, 3. We're going to 10. 4, 5, keep going. And 10. Remember, if that's too intense for you, you can count each twist as 1 rep, okay? Do what works for you. Push-ups, 10 reps. Whatever push-up variation you want to do, I'm doing core twist push-ups. So starting from my pine position, I'm going to tuck the knee in towards my chest and then across my body towards the opposite elbow while I sink into the push-up, and then straighten the leg as I push myself back up. So tuck the knee towards the opposite elbow, and then straighten the leg. Alternating sides with each rep. That's 4, so I have to do 6 more. Do your best. So that's our first round. Took a little over 2.5 minutes. Let's try to pick up the pace. Now you've seen everything once. We have to do another 3 rounds. So do your best. Pause and rest if you need to. When you're ready, let's go ahead and start round 2 with another 10 squats. Lunges, 5 reps on each leg. Switching sides. 10 Russian twists. Rudy's cheering me on. So you can do it, mommy. All right, 10 push-ups. Fight for it. This is a tough push-up variation for me, but I just have 2 more reps. That's 10. That's round 2. We picked up the pace a little bit. Let's keep pushing. As soon as you're ready, round 3. 10 squats. Lunges. Five and 5. Russian twists. It's 10. These push-ups are slowing me down because they're so tough. Just gotta fight for it. 10 reps, do your best. That's 10, and that's round 3. Let's keep pushing. Final round. Final 10 squats. Lunges, 5 and 5. Other leg. set of abs. Let's push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. We've completed 150 reps. More to go. Just 4 more reps. Seven, 8, 2 more. 9, last one. 10. Get up. I know that was tough. And I know that after you complete that final push-up, especially if you were doing a particularly challenging push-up variation, like those core twist push-ups are for me, it's tempting to just collapse in a heap on your mat. But it's really important that you make yourself get up and keep moving. So you can do our little cool down. I don't do a very structured cool down. I just do this. I just kind of pace around, and this is fine. If you want to do something more structured, that's great. The point is just that you want to keep moving, kind of keep your circulation going while you allow your breathing to normalize, and while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit. So, stretch out the shoulders with me a little bit if you want. You saw me do this a little bit during the workout. Rounds 3 and 4, I had to pause and rest. I wasn't able to get through my set of 10 push-ups unbroken. So you saw me stop and just quickly stretch out my shoulders. So just make sure that your shoulders are relaxed while you're doing this stretch. So this arm that's stretching is completely relaxed. You're just bringing the arm across your body and using your other hand to pull it close to your chest. Feeling that stretch in your shoulder. Switch sides. So bring the opposite hand across your body and use your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Relax the shoulders. Make sure this straight arm is nice and relaxed. Feeling a nice stretch in that shoulder. And I always just kind of pace around while I'm doing this. Just keep moving. Nice deep breaths. And do a quick tricep stretch. So you're gonna bend one elbow. Place the opposite hand on your elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that this hand, your free hand, is relaxed and pointing down towards the ground. So you don't want this hand to be up here somewhere. You want this hand relaxed and pointing straight down. So let's do that same stretch on the other side, bend the opposite elbow. Place your other hand on your elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure the hand Your free hand is relaxed and pointing straight down at the ground, feeling that nice stretch in your triceps. Swing out the arms a little bit. And do a quick quad stretch. So bring one foot up behind you, and then reach behind you and grab onto the top of your foot with both hands, and just kind of gently press your heel into your booty cheek so that you feel that stretch in your quad. And while you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're pressing your hips forward to intensify that stretch in your quad. So what I mean by that, let's switch to the other foot. So bring the opposite foot up behind you, reach behind you, and grab the top of your foot with both hands, pressing that heel into your booty cheek. And now, if you find that there's a curve in your low back, that's not wrong. That's the way spines are made. You're supposed to have a curve there, but if you tilt your pelvis forward like this, and think about sucking your belly button all the way back to touch your spine, so going from this to this, it's really going to intensify that stretch in your quad. Make sure you're still pressing your heel into your booty cheek and sucking your belly button, trying to touch your spine with your belly button. It's really going to help to isolate that quad muscle for your quad stretch. Kind of intensifies it, makes it more effective. So just swing out the arms, shake out the legs, and once you feel that you are sufficiently cooled down, once your breathing has normalized and your heart rate has come down, let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. The bonus burpee is absolutely mandatory. You do not have to include a push-up with your bonus burpee if you don't want to. I am going to include a push-up, but if you don't want to do a push-up, you can eliminate the push-up. It can be any burpee variation you want, with or without a push-up, but you must do some burpee variation for your bonus burpee, okay? It is required, it is part of the challenge. The workout is not officially over until we've done it. So let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together. If you are a beginner, I will walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. So you're going to start standing in the middle of your mat. You're going to bend down and place your hands flat on the mat in front of you, and then you're going to step your feet back so that you are in a plank position. Knees down for a push-up if you want to include a push-up. If not, you can eliminate it. Then step the feet forward and stand. Come up onto your toes if you can, and if you want, you can add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you would like to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's go ahead and just do one final bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So when you are ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. With that, the workout is now officially complete. That ended up taking me a total of 10 minutes and 40 seconds, which is a little bit longer than I wanted. I would have preferred to finish it in under 10 minutes, but that push-up variation was so difficult for me today. I felt like I was working really hard, so I'm happy with this, and most importantly, I got the reps done. That's what matters. So now it's really important that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes at least to stretch. If you can do it right now, immediately after the workout, this is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get it done because your muscles are nice and warm. If you wait until later in the day to do your stretching, that's fine. Just remember that if you do your stretching later in the day, your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you are going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before jumping into your stretching routine. The same way we take 5 minutes to warm up before the workout, it's also really important to make sure that you're warming up your muscles before you begin stretching. And again, it's just to reduce your risk of injury. Your cold muscles are more kind of brittle. You need to warm them up in order to make them pliable. So if you start stretching with cold muscles, you're liable to overstretch or strain or pull a muscle, and we don't want that. So if you do your stretching right now, you don't have to worry about warming up your muscles because they're already nice and warm from the workout. But if you don't have time now, that's fine. Do your stretching later in the day. Just remember to warm your muscles back up before you begin stretching. The important thing is just that you're stretching at some point during the day. Taking the time to stretch every single day is going to go a long way towards helping to alleviate muscle soreness. It is also going to really help reduce your risk of injury moving forward. So it's going to make the workouts safer, and it's going to make you more comfortable. It is going to improve your flexibility and your mobility. So please make sure that you are stretching every single day. It's really important. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to stretch and you need a stretching routine, I'm happy to share the stretching routine that I do every day with you. Just ask me for the link. Happy to share that, but you can just as easily go on YouTube and just search for beginner stretching routine. Or if your muscles are really tight and you need a stretching routine that's geared towards inflexible people, do a search for stretching routines for inflexible people. There's going to be tons of good options. It doesn't matter what you do for your stretching, it just matters that you're getting it done. Before I do my stretching, I am going to add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That's why I'm holding Rudbecca. Rudbecca is my adorable black jump rope with the little white skulls on the handles. And if you would like to know where I got Rudbecca, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link, use coupon code Rudbecca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. Jump rope is my go-to 9 times out of 10 for my additional cardio on jumping rope. I'm going to reset my timer for 40 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. That's 20 minutes. I'm gonna play some music and then just get my cardio done, 20 minutes. Then I'll do my stretching and then I'll have a shower, eat some lunch, and get on with the rest of my day. The stretching is not mandatory. It is not officially part of the challenge. But I'm sharing this with you because this is how I do the challenge every single year. I have been doing this challenge since 2020, and every year I add on 20 or 30 minutes of moderate paced cardio after each workout because I am trying to use this challenge to get myself back in shape. I need to lose weight. I want to improve my stamina. I want to strengthen my heart and my lungs. So the additional cardio really helps to accelerate that process for me. That helps me to see results faster, and I find it really encouraging. It helps me to stay motivated to keep getting out here every day and getting my reps done because I can see the results. I like the changes I'm seeing in my body. I can see myself getting stronger. I can see my stamina improving, and it just makes it easier to find the motivation to keep going because I see that what I'm doing is working. I can see the results. And the stronger I get and the more my stamina improves, the easier the workouts become. So that makes it easier to get motivated to do them because they're not so difficult for me as they were on like days 1 and 2 and 3, let's say. So if you do want to add on some cardio, it doesn't have to be jump rope. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, this is what I'm doing. I find this just the easiest and the most enjoyable and the quickest to get done, the most effective. This is my favorite. But sometimes I might decide to go for a jog, or I might hop on the exercise bike for 30 minutes. When I have time, I like to go for a hike, but it doesn't matter what you do for your cardio. So if you want to go for a hike, that's great. If you want to take a jog or even a brisk walk, fantastic. If you have a jump rope and you want to jump rope with me, this is my favorite. But if you have something like an elliptical or a treadmill or an exercise bike, you can hop on one of those for 30 minutes. If you have access to a heavy bag, you can work on your heavy bag. If you have access to the field at your local high school, you can run around the track or you can do up and down the bleachers. Any kind of moderate paced cardio you want to do is great. So if you are also using this challenge to try to get yourself in shape and lose weight and improve your stamina and strengthen your heart and your lungs like I am, I strongly recommend the additional cardio. It doesn't necessarily have to be after every single workout. That's the way I do it, but we're working out 6 days a week, every Monday through Saturday. So that means I'm doing 6 cardio sessions every week, and I know that's a lot. You may not physically be able to do 6 cardio sessions a week, or you just may not have time to do 6 cardio sessions a week. And that's fine. You don't have to do any cardio if you don't want to. But if you can, I strongly recommend at least 2 or 3 days a week. If you can just find 2 or 3 days a week to sneak in a cardio session. It can be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. It doesn't have to be more than 20 or 30 minutes. But I just know that it's going to help you to start seeing results faster, and I think you are going to be much happier with your results at the end of the challenge if you can do it. So I'm just sharing that with you because I want to be transparent. I want you to know that I'm doing more than just these 160 reps every day. These 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups are all I'm doing as far as strength training goes. I am relying solely on these 160 reps every day for my strength training, but I'm also adding 20 to 30 minutes or more of cardio, moderate paced cardio after each workout. That's the way I'm doing the challenge. It's just something to consider. The additional cardio, once more, just to reiterate, is not required. It is not mandatory. It is not technically, officially part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended. But whether or not you are adding on any cardio after today's workout, our 161 reps are done for the day. We have completed our 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. So that is officially a wrap on day 26. Well done. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to everyone who's doing the challenge with me. If you're not doing the challenge with me, remember that it is not too late to start. And it is never too late to start. You can jump in today. If you start today, you will just do the last 15 days of the challenge with me, and that's amazing. If you do want to go back to the beginning and start on day 1, that is recommended. Just make sure that you are starting with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday, everything will fall into place. All you have to do is follow along with the playlist. It's super easy to follow along. So make sure you save the playlist. Start by watching that day 1 video, and then just start on any day you want. But if you want to start on day 1, make sure you start on a Wednesday. And remember that I am right here doing the challenge with you. I'm here working out with you every single day. And I'm also here to answer questions, provide guidance, support. I am here to help motivate you and support you and encourage you along the way. So do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. I also need to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. For some reason, I've been getting a lot more subscribers lately than I normally do, so I'm very happy about that. If you are one of those new subscribers, thank you so much. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear about the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if the format is not working for you and you need help customizing it or rearranging things, just ask. I'm always here to help. If you have questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, since we were using equipment today, or beginner modifications, I am right here. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 27. Bye.